Big win, Don Wilson here for Top MMA News. Here in the ruckus at his team Bushido with Nabil Khatib leading up to his big fight with Brant Dewsbury at Rec MMA April 20th. You know, just finished another hard training. I'm sure you're going to keep going once we're done here. How is training going for you?
Oh, training's been amazing. I mean, the guys here at my club at Team Bushido, they're all my students, but you know, they push me hard and they get me to the goal I'm looking for. So, you know, really without them, it makes it you know, half as easy. You know, it makes it much easier when they're around. But my biggest thanks, of course, is to TriStar Gym and Firas Zahabi and all the guys that train with up there, with all the UFC greats. So, you know, they've been really kind to me and helped me out, and really, I mean, they kick my ass every time I go there. So.
Well, the one thing I wanted to ask is, you train a lot of time up at TriStar. You do some of your training here. How is it after you've trained with all the pros to come back? You see the kids training here. You got the young jiu-jitsu. You have your pro class going. How does this bring new life into you when you come back and see this for training?
Everything I do, anything when it comes to martial arts and going and seeing new things and coming back and seeing how my guys are progressing, it brings a new life to me every time. It doesn't matter. You know, just seeing my guys developing from white belt to first stripe to second stripe, etc. It gives me the drive, you know, to keep doing what I do. And at TriStar Gym, you know, these guys are the best of the best, and everything they do to me makes me work harder. And they're a good team. They all work together, and they're just a great bunch of guys. So.
Well, one question I've actually asked a few fighters recently, the big difference between leading the life of a fighter and leading the life of a martial artist. What does leading the life of a martial artist mean to you? Not obviously, not all the women, not all the money, not all the hype of just being a pro fighter, but, you know, training your guys, you know, the discipline, the time, the drive that it takes to be a real martial artist.
You know, it's a really good question, because there's a fine line between, you know, a thug, you know, who thinks he knows what he's doing, and a real martial artist. And MMA to me is martial arts. It really is. In MMA, you have to have the martial arts mentality. And what I mean by that is the respect for the sport, respect for the others that you train with, and it's the respect for others that you compete against. Because this is a tough sport. I mean, hands down, it's one of the hardest sports I've ever done in my life, and it's the one I love the most. And you have to be a martial artist to enjoy it and to excel as you know, as far as people do. And to be honest with you, I'm the least physically talented guy I know. To be honest, very honest with you, I'm terrible when it comes to, you know, exercises like this that I did. But it's something I have to do to get better at my sport. And I've only achieved the goals that I've achieved so far because I love the sport so much, and I just try as hard as I can. So.
Well, you know, you're mentioning that, obviously, you know, no one's going to have a boatload of fun training because of the amount of work it takes. And, you know, you say you're not athletic. I disagree. I think you're an amazing athlete, and you've been in the sport for so long, and it showed just, you know, how long your body can last. But, you know, how do you get yourself through the training then? Obviously, it ain't fun. No one loves doing it, but you have to do it. Why?
Well, like I said, you know, you have to be able to train properly and to reach your goals the way you need to reach your goals, because other people are doing the same, if not more. And, you know, 5 years ago, I wouldn't have done any of this stuff. 6 years ago, 7 years, I didn't do this stuff. I just did my technique and my grappling and my sparring, etc. And today it's not enough. Today you have to be explosive, you got to be powerful, you got to be fast, you got to have reaction time. So all these things I know I need to do. Because I'm not a fast twitch muscle guy, I'm just not, and I have to do these things to get as best as I, you know, get to be the best that I want to be. And in order to compete with these younger guys, these faster guys, I have to do these things. So I know that mentally that I have to do it. I hate doing it, I really do. But once you get going, and the adrenaline's pumping, and you get your heart and lungs going, it's really not so bad, you know. And the best part is when you're done.
Yeah. Now, you just mentioned it there, the mental side. Do you think going through all these training things, you know, you might be the older guy, you're not the younger guy, but do you think the mental toughness that you have, the experience that you've brought in, do you think that helps you overcome some of these younger guys?
Oh, absolutely does, for sure. I mean, you know, the younger guys, maybe they're full of testosterone, and they're full of, you know, a lot of adrenaline, and they're young, and they got a lot of energy. But at the same time, they also look ahead on the other side, the other side of the cage, and say, "Wow, this guy's got experience. I gotta be careful." And sometimes a little bit too gung ho, and they make mistakes. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Dewsbury. Yeah, Dewsbury. You know, he's got some good guys that he works with, which I know he does. So hopefully that experience will come, and you know, he'll do his best, but I hope to come out on top.
Now, the one thing floating around the MMA world, and we brought it up, young guy, old guy, we got to mention, obviously, your testosterone levels are fine. You're not needing any therapeutic use exemptions or any TRT?
No, I mean, I know there's sometimes I feel like, man, I just don't have enough adrenaline go through my body, or I'm not, you know, I see these guys, they're like gung-ho, and I'm so mellow when I'm sparring and kind of thing. But it comes down to loving the sport as much as I do. Do
you think that's a physical thing or a mental thing, though? Do you think it's your body that's slowing down? Your
oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's absolutely the body. The body starts to slow down, and I have to mentally pick it up. Yeah. But you know, once you start getting a couple of hits here and there, you get a shot here and there, so you wake up a little bit. So it gives you a little more adrenaline and so on. So you know, I found in the past 40 fights, I've had 40 fights, and you know, the more fights you have, the less adrenaline you have when you go in there. And the age, of course, is a big factor. But you know, it's something I love to do, so I just keep going.
Now, you're definitely a calm guy. When I see you go in the cage before a fight, after a fight, you're a calm guy around there. Do you find that helps you? You know, you see some of the other fighters, they get pumped up, they're screaming, they're yelling to get in. You seem to be a calm guy. Do you think that means you're more centered when you go in the cage?
Yeah, I find I try to be a little bit more focused, and you know, but to be honest with you, I am thinking about the crowd. I do hear the crowd when I'm focused, you know, in the cage and ready to fight, or the ring, whatever it is. I am focused on the opponent, but I'm also hearing the crowd, and it helps me, you know, build up a little adrenaline, a little energy, a little confidence. But I am focused on what I'm doing. So yeah, it's never been a problem.
Well, you just brought up the crowd. One thing the crowd, everyone wants to see, Ottawa area, obviously, Nabil the Thrill Khatib versus Mark Boots Holst. We've asked you about this before. We thought it was going to come up on this fight card. It didn't. Is that still a fight that you want as badly as you did 2 years ago?
Of course it is. Absolutely, for sure. I mean, it's something that I really it really bugged me the way the referee stopped that fight, and I give him all the credit in the world. He hit me with a knee and I dropped, but it wasn't done. I wasn't done, and I know a lot of people agree that I wasn't done. A lot of his friends say I was done. You know, it's normal. You know, his friends or his people are going to say, his fans are going to say I was done. My fans are going to say I wasn't. But you know, you could see when I fought
Nathan Gunn.
No. Well, yeah, Nathan Gunn was the one, and him. Showtime. You know, he had me in a choke. He knocked me down. He hit me, and I wasn't done. You know, he had me. He knocked me down, and he put me in a rear naked choke, and it was pretty tight. But he didn't finish it, and I didn't tap. So, you know, the referee stopped it early, hands down for sure. So.
Well, I gotta say, to me, the best I've ever seen you was in the Nathan Gunn fight. I really think that was easily, if not fight of the year in Canada, it was a close second. And I really think you gained more fans just by that performance, because it was an unbelievable back and forth. A lot of rumors going around that you wanted to accept another rematch with Nathan Gunn, and Nathan Gunn did not want that rematch. You know, I could see his side, I could see your side. Why do you think that fight needs to happen again?
Well, I think it needs to happen again, because I think that, you know, the judges need to look at the whole fight. They look at it as an MMA fight, not a striking match. You know, he did hit me more than I hit him, but I believe I control. Of course, he never took me down once. I did all the takedowns. You know, I didn't do much when I was on top of him, but I did have him. I did take him down every time, and I did hit him. We beat each other up pretty good, and I think that the takedowns counted a lot more for, you know, a lot more for points. And you know, when they announced the fight 4 rounds to 1. I thought it was, yeah, guaranteed. So, you know, whatever the case, I mean, you know, I showed it to all of my partners I trained with in Montreal. They said in MMA rules that would have been my fight. So, you know, and you know, he didn't take the fight because he had plans, and he had, you know, reasons not to take it. He had a chance that he might lose the fight, and then, you know, he wouldn't be getting to Bellator. He's in Bellator now, so good for him. I'm happy for him, but you know, he had to do what was good for his career. So I understand.
Yeah. Now in front of you have Brent Dewsbury. You know, he's a young cat training with Lee Mean. Anything specific you're looking at for this fight, or do you just want to go out there and prove that, you know, the old guard still has it?
All right. He's long. That's all I know. You know, I know he's gonna use his reach, but I'm gonna go in there and feel him out the way I always do. I don't really have plans when I come to fights, because everybody's different. You can see them in a fight with one person. He's gonna be different with somebody else. So I'm a bit of a digger, so I'll just go in and dig like I always do, and see how he reacts, and you know, hit him and see how he reacts to that, and you know, see how I react to his strikes. You know, and typically I react pretty good when I get hit. So I don't know.
Yeah, you definitely do. You seem when you take a shot, you really seem to get going there. Now, one thing I want to ask is, you know, so we had a recent interview with Stéphane Patry at a show that you were at. the Instinct MMA event. And there was a comment thrown out by Stefan Patria about a gentleman that you were sitting right next with, Ryan Ford, saying that he might have left a little early prior to a Brendan Thatch match. And I would like to just kind of erase the thing. You were sitting with Ryan Ford during that. I don't think Ryan Ford was a tad or even at all scared of Mr. Brendan Thatch.
No, why would he be scared?
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan Ford, he's the toughest dude in MMA in Canada for sure. And, you know, he's been through some wars. I fought Ryan Ford, and the guy's a tough SOB, you know, and he's hard to deal with. So, you know, he's in Bellator now, and, you know, why would he be worried about Brendan Thatch? That's all I can tell you. I mean, you know, even if he does, for whatever reason, he goes and fights at Instinct or whatever the case and fights Brendan Thatch, I'm telling you, he's going to be in for a war, that Brendan Thatch guy. So.
Definitely. And you know, just a quick side of that. Having fought Ryan Ford and seeing Ryan Ford now, do you see the huge change in, I guess, not even maturity, but just style and the way he carries himself?
You mean in his fight style?
In his fight, in his everyday life. I see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's you know, he's a marketing genius.
Yeah.
For, you know, what he does with his G'd up,
G'd up to the feet up.
G'd up to the feet up, you know, uniform, clothing and so on, and he knows how to market himself, and he knows how to market himself. He also knows how to train properly. That's why he's at the TriStar gym and training the best, you know, with the best guys. So he's doing this the right way. He's very smart, and he's learned a lot, and I think he's matured in the sport, definitely.
Now, the one thing I have to get on you here, because I always love talking food every time. We've done breakfast seals and everything. Recently, you put a tweet out there, shark. Never tried it. Tell me, how would be the best introduction for me to have some shark?
Just go buy it and eat it. Cook it.
Well,
cook it up, man.
How do you cook a good shark? Give me a good Nabil.
My recipe for shark, this time, I make things different all the time, but this time, because I'm not much of an oatmeal fan, I actually took it and I marinated it in like a Korean barbecue sauce, and then from there I coated it with oatmeal. Coat it. You just coat it, just like you would like a breading, and you lightly fry it in olive oil until it's cooked, and it's delicious. And you get your oatmeal, you get your proteins, and you get a good tasting fish. You eat it with some nice okra and some you know, some bok choy and some good greens.
Do you find that like a meatier fish shark, like something maybe not like a salmon that I find a little too light, maybe like the steak of fish?
Yeah, it's definitely meatier. It's very much like swordfish, flakes like chicken. Yep. You know, it tastes like swordfish. It's just good fish, and it's a cheap fish. I'm a cheap guy. It's cheap fish.
Any other great workout meals? I see you tweeting them all the time, and you know, for a big guy like me, obviously I like to eat. Some of this stuff looks damn tasty. What else would be a really good, you know, healthy workout, you know, pre-fight meal that you could get that, you know, maybe everyone would enjoy?
I think quinoa is a big deal. Quinoa is one of the best most ancient grains you can get, and it's I think it's got the highest protein levels. And it's just delicious. You can do so many things with quinoa, and all kinds of greens. People are very limited to their greens, and people eat salads. Man, for me, salads are crap. I like salads. However, I like it with no dressing. Believe it or not. I eat my salads raw with, you know.
How do you do that?
I just love it. I know it. Listen, you have to get into the lifestyle. That's all it is. You get into the lifestyle of that diet, and you start actually tasting the food. Spinach tastes delicious to me with no dressing. I eat spinach. I eat bok choy. I eat, you know, different greens from different countries. It's just amazing. People have to explore the foods out there. There's just so much to learn.
Living the lifestyle, folks. Absolutely, just living the lifestyle. Now, Nabil, before we let you go, family, friends, sponsors, you want to give a shout out to?
Absolutely. I want to thank all my sponsors and all my family, of course, Tanya, my girls, Layla, Nadia, my son John, and all my dogs, Koji, Zeus, and Kingsley. They're all a pain in the ass, but I love them. Not the kids, the dogs. Yeah. And my sponsors, Caps Auto Parts. I have to look. Caps Auto Parts, Evolution. Who else? Shih Tzu. Oh yeah, Core Fitness.
I don't want to yell at someone that's not sponsoring you.
Yeah, I know.
Free advertising.
Wait, give me a second. They'll come to me. Core Fitness, and I have Stereo Plus and Design. We got, of course, MMA Management and Firaz Zahabi at TriStar. And we got, there was somebody, Street Soldier.
Can't forget Street Soldier.
Who else? I know there's a couple others. I can't remember.
Well, we'll get you on post-fight, because hopefully we're going to be doing the winning post-fight interview.
I wish I had my shirt on, but I don't.
Once again, fans, big win, Don Wilson. Nabil the Thrill Khatib will be competing against Brant Dewsbury at the next rec card, April 20th. I'm messing this all up. The Casino de Lac Lamy in Gatineau, Quebec. Once again, fans, thank you.